free to be unconditionally loved. Not a feeling or emotion. Follow your heart's direction. It's a value of self. Beyond some status and fame and wealth.
I don't want to change too much now. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Hey, hi with me. Hi with me, sweetie. Right here. Yes. Yes. Hey. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey. 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 Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, everybody in between, boys, girls, all across the land. Welcome! If you have not met me before, my name is xoesazzle. Welcome to Everything It's Zoe, a show created by yours truly, where we explore literally everything from A to Zoe. Real topics in real time in real TNT. Go ahead, like, comment, share, and don't forget, once you get in here, love is love, and everybody's somebody. Welcome, Everything It's Zoe. That's right, and actually tonight we are not just streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. We're also streaming live on Twitch. Hey, I had a little fall down there. We're also streaming live on Twitch. So, just get in, get ready, share the link, share the platform. We have so much in store tonight. Tonight is episode 7 of Everything It's Zoe. That's right, we've been with you for 7 weeks now. Can you imagine? And our episode tonight is called On the New Foodie Frontier, right? Episode 7, the New Foodie Frontier with Chef Brigette Joseph and AvocadoPapii. All right, how does that sound? Oh gosh, welcome everybody. A little earlier, I saw a little comment from, was that Whitney? I think that was Whitney. Just saying, hey, oh good! Whitney, yes, Whitney has been... Whitney said, I came in the comments section tonight. I love, so nice to have you all with us. Such a pleasure. Let's get that billboard up again. Tonight is episode 7 on the Foodie Frontier. And tonight we have Chef Brigette Joseph, AvocadoPapii. I cannot wait to get into it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, our first segment tonight, as you know, is called Hot Headlines. It's hot headlines. Y'all don't worry, by season 2, we're gonna get all this produced and it's gonna be so much more fabulous. All right, our first hot headline tonight. In our first hot headline tonight, there's actually something very serious happening right off of the shores of Trinidad and Tobago right now as we speak. And it came to my attention, to the national attention this week, actually. And I think it's very important that we, focus on what's happening and not just go around thinking that things are okay and then we land ourselves in a greater situation than we're in. Let's take a look.
I'm the Corporate Secretary of Fishermen and Friends of the Sea, Trinidad and Tobago. Today we went by sea to get first-hand reliable information on the condition of the Navarino. There were risks, but personal risks are outweighed by public interest in this instance. So we braved the ocean and we went to see for ourselves. What we found is frightening. You will see from the oncoming videos. It's scary what we found, but we have to tell you the truth. Some people will say that we have no business going. They can say what they want, but we have a duty to our 50,000 plus fishermen, to our marine ecosystem and environments and millions of species, and to our Caribbean brothers and sisters who depend on a clean Caribbean sea. Support us. We are here today, October 16th. You can see the tilt on the vessel. That is looking like more like a 25-degree tilt. It looks like it's held together with the anchor chains. That's why it's not flipping.
Right. So I asked the producer to pause just for y'all who don't know the I'm gonna mess up the names. I believe it's the FOS. Nabarima is a vessel that is currently situated in between the borders of Trinidad and Venezuela. And we know that those are murky waters because, well, Trinidad has been Venezuela since time immemorial. So to say between our waters, if you stand at the southernmost tip of Trinidad and the Caucasus, you can literally see Venezuela. And so this vessel is out there at sea. Let's continue looking at what's going on.
We know that the vessel is full of crude oil. We know that nothing has been done. We have risked our lives to come out here to collect this information, to share to the public that our government has done nothing.
So that is a kind of a snapshot. I didn't want to go in for too long because the video goes on for quite a bit, and it's very important information. But it's also stuff that, if you want to see more, you can go to FFOS, their page. That's Friends of Fishermen of the Sea. And so that's kind of what's happening out there in those waters. And lots of calls have been made to the government to issue a statement, to intervene, so that, this vessel is filled with crude oil. And if by any unfortunate circumstance, or as we see any likely circumstance based on the status of that, it's at a 25-degree tilt, if that vessel were to overturn or any of the crude oil were to spill from it, it could very possibly turn out to be one of the largest oil spills in history. Very important, right? So that's what's happening with that vessel. The Ministry of Energy, I believe, Minister Khan made a statement last night on the news, saying that, there's a lot of back and forth. Apparently, the vessel is a Venezuelan vessel, and so it's not just that easy for the Trinidadian government to intervene and do something. Nevertheless, both murky sea waters and murky political waters there, but definitely something to keep our eyes on, right? So that's what's happening on that front. Next up, in our next hot headline, something a little fun, a little juicy, a little, something for the spirits, right? We had a Trini appear on The Voice, right? We had a Trini appear on The Voice this week. This week was the first episode that we would have seen her. And this was her audition episode, not audition for the show, but audition where, let me not tell you about it. Let's watch it. Let's see what happened with Paige Turner. Yeah.
I'm 27 years old, and I moved to Trinidad and Tobago. Growing up on the island was definitely a blessing. I loved swimming. I loved being in the sun.
Yeah, we got a feature!
And Trinidad and Tobago. Anytime we get the opportunity, we're dancing in the streets. But when I was about 13, my family split up, and then I went with my dad. He decided that we were going to move to the U.S. I moved from Trinidad and Tobago to Colby, Kansas. I've never seen snow before. To go from a very friendly and welcoming environment to cold and bitter climate. It was a huge culture shock, body shock, everything. I built up some walls. Music was my safe place because everything else around me was uncontrollable. I definitely identify as alt indie soul rock. So I decided to move to Seattle. I started just slowly getting more gigs and just loving every second of it. I've come this far, and I would definitely say to that little girl that struggled, it's okay. The time will come soon.
Yes! That was Paige Turner. I'm not gonna air the actual footage from that episode for a number of reasons. More so I gonna be one of lawsuits, right? But Paige did an incredible performance, and actually, spoiler alert, her coach is gonna be Gwen Stefani, right? Paige is gonna be on Team Gwen. So that's something to look forward to for those of you all that watch The Voice. And also special shout out to the Johnson family. Paige comes from a family of singers, that really came out of the Marionettes. You know, her mother and her two sisters, they all sang together. And I'll go forward and just divulge some information. You know, I've known Paige ever since we were children together. Paige is just 2 years younger than me, and so I've known her for quite some time. And so to see her on the screens, oh my gosh, it was so jubilant, so exhilarating. So, Paige girl, we are all rooting for you. Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, we're rooting for you. We're excited. We can't wait, and we know great things are going to be in store. Yeah, so shout out to Paige. Shout out to Paige Turner. Alrighty, in our next hot headline, I stumbled upon, you all know I like the shits and the giggles, right? So I stumbled upon this TikToker. You know, I love the TikTok, but not necessarily as an app. I don't ever really sit down and scroll through it. I just love some of the content that comes out of it. I think people can be so beautifully creative, and I love it as a creative tool also. But this person, so just so you all know, I'm still single, and by still I mean for the past, since birth. And so some things like this really touch me in a different way, right? And I was touched. Let's see this. Let's take a look. I was touched. Oh gosh, let's see how it is. Your life
Wake me up like a normal person.
You stay asleep too long. You stay asleep too long. Hey! Give me that notes! Give me that top notes! You should know I'm sorry. Pull it. You should know I'm sorry. Oh. Y'all, she didn't do the vocal warm up, so I need a rest, right? It's an ease. It's an ease up from the Mariah Carey shenanigans that I need. Hey, producer, what's going on in the comments? I feel like there are some comments that I haven't been seeing. Some comments I haven't been seeing. Hey, Liam Rezonzi on the inside, darling. Welcome. Who else? Akeisha Jones, be ready. Who else? Come, bring them up. Yes, looking good, Samantha. Thank you. All right, next video. So in the scheme of this gentleman's TikToks, there was another one that I love. Let's take a look.
We were gonna have some fun, but I guess it's that time of the month. To worry, baby, I won't run. Even after the monster you become.
Are you?
Now you need a maxi pad. We use all one.
Uh-oh.
Stop.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, baby. He's so cute. Let's look at the last one. I don't know if you played the last one all the way through, but he has another one, and I thought it was so cute. Made my heart sing.
First, let me apologize for the video you told me not to post.
She told him not to post it.
I swear I had no idea that video would go viral.
But he didn't know it going viral.
But now everybody gets to see that you love me. No matter how bad or how ugly, you got my back. I'm grateful for that, baby. So I'll never leave you so lost on it down. It's the kind of thing.
Give me the Spanish!
I won't leave you so lost on it down.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was just from one of my TikTok discoveries this week. A little something. All right, that's it for hot headlines. That's it for hot headlines. Hot headlines. Coming up next, we have a special. I know you're ready for our guest, right? But before we bring our guests on, I have a special guest, right? And this special guest is no stranger to the screen, no stranger to multimedia platforms and also broadcasting. If you've ever heard of Trinity Good Media, Trinity Good Media is one of our local platforms which puts forth such incredible content beyond the kind of content that must be archived, and I know it's already archived, right? But the kind of content that must be archived and we will cherish as part of our national treasure, the time in memorial. And so in line with that, we're going to chat with one of the producers of Trinity Good Media. But she's not just the producer of Trinity Good Media, she is also the producer of a special event which began last year. I'm going to tell a bit more about it, right? So this segment is a new segment that I'm introducing called On the Almanac. On the Almanac. Producer, where is my on the that's now. Oh yeah, I feel my producer. My producer might be looking for a walk soon. All right, seems like we don't have the billboard, but before we get into the billboard, let's run that clip. Let's run that clip to give us an introduction into what we're talking about. Yeah? Foodie.
That takes place every October. It started in the United States in 2012, and what it really started was to celebrate the versatility of the animal. A fantastic man called James Whitelaw took up the idea, and it's been going down ever since. James and I were introduced by a mutual friend in London, and that's it. That's how AvocadoPapii was born.
But it's growing.
Alrighty, without further ado, let's welcome Miss Franca Phillip. Good night,
Hello, Zoe. Hello. How are you?
Franca, oh my gosh, royalty! We have royalty in the
You're very good. You're very good for my ego, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good. So happy to have you. And as I said,
And
this
I'm
segment
happy
is
to be
called On
here.
the Thank you. You know, and this segment is called On the Almanac because for those of y'all who don't know, an almanac is another word for calendar.
Calendar.
That's right. And so this segment is meant to give our viewers a little feature, a little insight into what's on the local calendar. And on the local calendar, coming up this week, we have the 2020 edition of Gotober. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is. Kicking off in a few hours, Saturday, 24th of October. You know, we had big plans, Zoe, for
Right.
2020, then COVID.
I That's one of the places I wanted to start off. You know, last year was the first installment of Gotober locally. And Frank, I have to tell you, it was so delightful. I didn't get to attend all of the events, but I definitely attended the one at, oh gosh, that place off of Mukarapu.
Sound Forge.
Soundforge, that's right, Soundforge, and even the goat ice cream. So those of you who don't know, there was an event last year where every item on the menu was made with some part of goat, and that's really the center of the festival. Not so, Frank, can tell us a bit more
Yes.
exactly what Gotober is.
Okay.
You know.
Well, Gotober actually started in the United States probably about 10 years ago. It was started because what was happening was that the producers of dairy milk found that there was wastage. So once the boys were born, the boy goats were born, they were just killed, which made no sense. So they started this campaign to improve and to introduce people to goat and to using the meat rather than wasting it. So it was picked up in the UK by a fantastic man called James Wetlaw. And while I was living in London, I started to explore goat in a different way to how we do here, because so many cultures use it differently other than curry. For example, the Africans, they love roasting it. You know, the Brazilians, they do different things with it. So while I was there, I was able to explore a lot of the ways that goat is used there. And so
Yeah,
James
because
and I, mhm.
mostly here we just know curry goats.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Caribbean thing. We know curry goat, goat curry, depending on what part of the Caribbean you are.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when I came home in 2012 thereabouts, and over the time I said, you know what, let me see what we could do with this product. Let me see what we could do with the Gotoba idea. And last year, James and I actually we connected in 2018, and then
Okay.
I decided, okay, yeah, we're doing this in 2019. We had a series of dinners, we had a series of fantastic events. James came, he taught farmers how to butcher goat properly. We had a real good time. Our good friend Bridget Joseph was involved in it as well as one of the chefs. Then also Chef Bianca Bianco, Chef Khalid
Yeah.
Mohammed, our top chefs. Yes, our top chefs were involved. And so it was a
Culinary.
scream. It was, yes, we had a really good time. So the thrust is not just to eat any goat; it's really to eat local goat and to
Okay.
eat products from the local goat producers. So like the milk, for example, we have some great milk. I mean, wow! If you taste that ice cream, goat milk ice cream from with Trinidad milk, it's
Yes.
fantastic. The
Yes.
cheese, the yogurt, everything. We just wanted to do everything from meat to milk, and that's what we're doing this year. Again, but we have no big events, unfortunately. Several
Yeah,
people
because
on their own.
last year there were, so many events, public
Yeah,
events.
we had 5 events or so last year.
So how is the form? What's the form that it's going to take this year?
Well,
Kicking off
we are
tomorrow, right?
encouraging. Yeah, kicking off tomorrow. So actually, we were supposed to kick off with a little surprise tonight, but the rain came and crashed our plans. But what we're going to do is we're heading up tomorrow to a repo to join the goat and sheep farmers, and they're going to be roasting a goat. So we'll be doing something live from there, and that's going
Okay.
to be exciting. Going up to one of the
You
biggest farms in a repo, and
can
so
broadcast live
yes,
so that people.
yeah, we'll be doing some lives on the GoToba Instagram. We're talking to Minister Clarence Rambarat. That won't be live because Yeah, we'll edit it and we'll put it up on our GoToba Instagram. Also at Calabash Garden, if you know Calabash Garden, which is a new establishment from the guy who did to own Drink, Dale Ramirez and Roses Hezekiah on Trockridge Road. They're doing a special goat lunch, which is Mediterranean roast goat. That looks and sounds fantastic. Yeah, it looks good, sounds good. And you know, we will also at some point be cooking something, and and that's how we're going to go. So for every day this week, we're going to be cooking something. We're going to be doing interviews, and different outlets are going to be putting goat on the menu. So that's how we're going to celebrate this year. Pretty low key.
I think that is. I actually don't think it's low key. You know, I think it's one of the best. A great way to make use of the time, you know, to say, okay, we're in a unique time, and let's not let it force us into inactivity. Let's let it force us into new activity, you know. And
exactly.
I commend you and the team. I celebrate you 100%. And so, last thing before I let you go, because I know tonight was a busy night, and as you said, everything's kicking off tomorrow. Where can people follow you all and get in touch? Just tell the people so that they don't miss a thing for this week.
Mainly on our IG, which is GoTobaTT, that's our handle, and on our Facebook page, which is also GoTobaTT. We'll be posting stuff up there, and just reach out, you know. And if you cook goat, make sure and tag #GoTobaTT, #Gotoba, #goat is good.
#goat is good. I love that.
Goat
I love
is
that.
good.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Zoe.
Yes, and so, you know, we're going to have to do a checkup a little later on, right? After the GoToba and whatnot. We're going to have to do a proper interview where we can really get of Franca Phillip, right? Because I know
and Trinity Good Media. Yes, of course. I know you're a huge supporter of what we do. And we're going to have some interesting things coming up during November and December. So I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, honey, thanks for having us.
Oh my gosh, and you know, it's so funny how things work, and the team, the crew always gets, you know, frustrated with me because they say, you know, I apparently I have a recurring line, and apparently my recurring line is, it's my show. I mean, I don't know what, I don't feel like I say it very often. I feel like, you know, sometimes the conversation that comes up and I say, well, it's my show. But the reason I brought that up is because I had already set the show for this week. And then I scrolled through my Facebook feed and I see this GoToba coming up. I said, wait. We can't be doing a Foodie episode. GoToba is coming up with the legendary Franca. And I am not reporting on it at all. So Franca just agreed this morning to this last minute quick little interview to give you all a heads up as to what's coming up, right? So that segment was called On the Almanac, right? And my producer, don't worry, but the producer couldn't find the billboard. Even though I know the billboard is there, the producer couldn't find the billboard. So maybe the producer will be finding a new job soon. Who knows? Let's right into our second interview for tonight. As you know, tonight we're all about food. Our episode tonight is all about food, foodies, the front line of food, foodie frontliners, all of the above. And up next, I have an interview with a very, very special AvocadoPapii. Right? So this is our foodie feature with AvocadoPapii, who is a food blogger and local influencer. Let's bring him to the set. Let's welcome Mr. AvocadoPapii. Yay!
Hello. Good night.
Good night. How you doing?
Hi. I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. This is still so new to me, but I'm like well excited. Are you hearing me?
I hear you. We are so excited to have you. You know, I am. Are you hearing me? You're good on our end. Are you hearing me good?
Yes. Yeah, I'm hearing you good now. Yeah. There's a slight lag, but
nice. You know, we take it. Yeah,
and tonight was kind of
etc. That's all right. We ain't worry about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And in this unique island of ours, when it rains, the internet seems to be affected.
Yeah, exactly.
You all ever, didn't we ever, we don't get it. because that's not tonight. Let's talk about AvocadoPapii as a food influencer. I'm curious, how did you step into these shoes? Because, we know, well, as I know, your name is Rakim, right? Rakim Poppins.
Yes.
And so AvocadoPapii is a larger character and platform, really, that you created surrounding food and surrounding food blogging and being an online influencer. So I'm curious, how did you get to actually step into those shoes and create this platform?
So it actually started off as an Instagram that I just created to keep myself accountable. I started a food journey, and I decided that I'll have this page to just take pictures of my food and post it, because I was usually sending it to my friends, and they were just like, yeah, you should share this, right? So I started this, and it was just, I probably had like 12 followers, and it was just my food, and it was mostly eggs and avocado because I was just young and I couldn't really cook anything. And then I just started posting pictures of food from places that I went out for, like lunch and dinner and stuff with my friends. And yeah, I kind of started getting like really nice pictures and just sharing it with people. And like, because I was getting feedback like, oh, like I like this, I have to try it here. So yeah, I kind of started doing that. And my friend Kaimi actually helped me. She like into it. She was like, what's your password? And she started sharing stuff too. And I was just like, yeah, because I was just posting everyone's stuff. So, and then it just became like, I became like so consistent, and I started having like so much fun with it. Like the whole process between like the content creation, and it just kind of like became what it is now. Like I never expected any of this from this little page.
Okay, I hear you. We're having a tiny delay, AvocadoPapii. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kick you out of the studio. You know what that means, but I want you to join right back in. And while that happens, let's take, just to reset the connection, just to make it good. While that happens, let's take in this video from AvocadoPapii, right? Let's see what Mr. AvocadoPapii is up to. Yeah. The tech, you have to love it. You have to keep it rolling. So this is some of AvocadoPapii's pictures from his Instagram. And we went through, and it was one of the things that I found so dynamic was that, look how beautiful, it wasn't just, all right, let me add some pictures. It was very much so like, wow, I'm gonna engage, I see Aaron Davidi is saying, hi, hey, but AvocadoPapii, you roll, put AvocadoPapii back on the screen there. I know, realize. Mr. AvocadoPapii, you roll with your whole clip. We have a whole team in comments. Just for AvocadoPapii.
I have the best support. Yeah, my friends, they always support me.
That is so important and so great to hear. So as y'all can tell, I was just a bit of a slideshow we had showing you some of AvocadoPapii's Instagram. And just what you spoke about brings me into my next point. You spoke about content creation, about consistency. And so my question for you is, how is that aspect of content creation as an influencer been,
Yeah, so, well, at first, the whole concept of influence, I think everyone has influence. If you posted about food, I would, but just how my page is just centered on foods. Like my followers, they only follow for food. So I'm just like speaking to people that are listening to what I'm saying. So yeah, so then there's like a whole creative part behind it. Like that's what got me more into it, right? Like the pictures, like sometimes the process would take like my half of the day, like from the morning to the afternoon, I'm like creating content, like trying to get the best pictures, video content, because I want the quality to be so good. Like I want to be something that I'm like really proud of, that could, like a kind of global scale.
Yes, very much so. And even those pictures that we pulled up, that's exactly what I saw was, very much intentional perspective on creating the content. It's not like I just gonna take a picture, this and post it. There's intentional. And I really love that. But I think that ties into, and even what you said about, making sure that the content could spread to a global stage. that ties into the business of branding, not so. And I agree with what you said about everybody having influence and everybody being an influencer. But hey, somebody gonna make the show is so well produced. Oh, thank you, Kylie.
My best friend.
I'm gonna say one of your best friends is loving it. I thank you for that comment. You all know we've been working on this show since week 1. We're now in week 7, so we're getting there. The Amrizani, we come and take a comment just now. Please, right? Next thing you would want is for me to bring you in as a co-host for you to ask the questions. Give us a still talking with AvocadoPapii about questions. What's wrong with that? So we were talking about, the content creation, and you were talking about making sure you produce material that can expand to global scale. So that ties into, and also influence, right? And having a platform and knowing that everybody does have influence. But there's something a bit different that what you're doing is not just aware of your influence, you're taking hold of your influence and engaging it. And to me, that has to do with like the business of branding. Tell me a little bit more. How you engage that aspect of it. Because for those who don't know, I mean, AvocadoPapii, you playing shy, you playing, sweet and innocent, but you have paid partnerships, right? I see on your Instagram page that people pay you, people send you their food, they send you products as collaborators and partnerships. So tell me about that business.
Right, so this is also very new. Like, for a while, my friends were kind of encouraging me, like, you have to monetize this, and I would just be like, no, I'm just doing this for fun. Like, I just like doing this, right? But then, like, it came a point where people would message me and ask, like, how much to get a review on your page, and I was kind of confused, and I gave away a lot of free stuff. I was like, oh, for free, and eventually, like, my friend, who is like one of like my favorite local content creators and influencers, DeAndre Wilson. She helped me like legitimize it, create like a document and make it into like this brand. Like I felt like so legit after that. Right. So when people approach, like when I get approached or I reach out to restaurants and brands as well, that I have something legit, So this is new to me, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and it just comes right down to taking yourself seriously. If we don't take ourselves seriously, how could we expect people to? I love that. Exactly. So tell us, let's pivot, right? This would pivot has been coming up a lot. From your perspective, also from an online perspective, what do you see has been the impact of COVID-19 on the local food industry, less more so the actual food, more so about how people as consumers engage with businesses, especially on social media?
Yeah, it's such a drastic change that it's such an online presence for everything now and we kind of did not have that before. A lot of places, they weren't really active online, and now it's just everyone is online all the time. Everyone's on their screens. So you see that a lot of restaurants and brands are approaching this with like their new marketing, and they're creating budgets for people like me to help their brand to be in people's face and their presence and to use my influence, because they realize that, okay, my followers are here for food. So brands are taking advantage of that. So it becomes a partnership where we have a relationship where people and restaurants become closer. It's like more personable. So there's like a closer relationship, but it's also like, it's kind of hard. Like you can't go to a restaurant and dine anymore. You have to order everything, which brings delivery. Like there's delivery to everyone now. Like last year I couldn't get a lot of stuff delivered to me because I live Vancouver. And now I could get so much, like I'm getting stuff delivered to me almost every day. But yeah, that's like a huge change.
Do not be ashamed. And I think that this is a very important point about current state of things. And we can talk about it because it's funny, right? But do not, I think that for people in the greater metropolitan areas, people living in New York, London, those areas, they literally do, some of them, especially during this lockdown quarantine period, have used these food delivery services to order every single meal. And not just meals, but groceries,
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
we seeing that too here.
here, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's just happening here as more facilities make it more possible. So I want to ask you a question. Actually, let's go back on that comment from Mr. Liam Rezendi since they're insisting. So let's take this question, right? Where is the best place in Trinidad that you have pizza at AvocadoPapii? Tell us.
Like I cannot pick one place because it has so many good food places.
Right. Yeah.
That I mean, I always talk about Lola's. I have a love affair with Lola's sandwiches. For lunch,
Really?
I love a sandwich. Yeah.
Where's Lola? No, don't give out too much. That's Lola's one of your top. Lola ain't one of my top. Lola ain't one of my top. So don't give out too much about Lola's, but tell us.
Yeah, they're on track reads. But besides Lola's, Crave, their food is undeniably good. Short Cafe, like I love to go there and have dinner there. Like I have their chicken locks. So it's just yeah.
Right. Love it. And so one of my last questions to you is what do you believe, you have a great perspective on the food landscape, and so what do you believe that we might want to see or we should see more of in the local food landscape, in your perspective?
So I was recently talking about this with my friends, and we're talking about how it's kind of hard to access like our local Caribbean cuisine at a fine dining level. That if you want to go out for dinner, it's more foreign cuisines and international and so many other cultures, but you can't. It's not accessible in Trinidad. It's in Tobago, yeah, you get it because of the whole island feel, but here it's really hard to get like a restaurant that focuses on that. I see like chefs do it privately, like supper clubs and stuff. They really get that local food and like do their spins and gourmet and stuff. But yeah, I don't really know much places I could get that now at a restaurant.
I
really hope.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I just don't know if that's because of us or the industry. Like, I don't know if because the consumers don't want that. Like, if they think that is just like we eat this all the time, or it's just our restaurants. I don't know. But I mean, I hope to see like an increase in that.
I'm seeing Chef Bridget saying something. What's Chef Bridget saying there? Trinis don't want to pay for local. All right, Chef Bridget, wait. Oh gosh, she in the studio. She in the comments. Oh. I love. I'm just listening. AvocadoPapii, thank you so much for chatting with us. Don't go too far, right? Because actually, before we go, I wanted to ask you, how can the people contact you?
Oh, you could. My Instagram is at AvocadoPapii, or you could email me at avocadopapii@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Yeah. So if I was a local food business, I can reach out to you for partnership, not so?
Yeah, email me because like Instagram, it kind of gets lost in the DMs. So I prefer like emails that we could have it's the right channel, the proper conversation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
DMs could fill up.
Yeah.
Love. AvocadoPapii, thank you so much for joining us. We had such a great chat. Don't go too far, right? Because I'm going to bring you back. Right. Nice. Thank you. That was AvocadoPapii, everybody. Local foodie blogger, food influencer, and doing great things on the virtual platforms for the local food sphere. And I loved his content and all that he brings to the table. So go follow him. Next up, y'all, tonight has been fun, and I have a different kind of bounce and zhuzh and jive to it. And I think it's partly because of our next guest, right? I think our next guest brings a bounce and a zhuzh and a jive. Let's welcome Chef Brigette!
Hello. Hello. What's up?
Hey, how you going?
I'm fine, I'm well. We alive.
That's fine. I love it. We are live. and we are alive, right?
Alive.
So nice to have you. For those of you who don't know, Chef Brigette is what I deem, and I will stick by it, stand by it, because if we don't celebrate our own, nobody else will. Chef Brigette is a local celebrity chef, right? We don't take that for granted and we don't pass it around lightly. Chef Brigette is a local celebrity chef. And Bridge, your I want to say your utensils, but that's a little sanitary. Your influence, your culinary tentacle.
Tentacles, Lord Father.
Don't do me.
What is a culinary tentacle?
Your culinary tentacles have spread all across the land, and your influence on our local culinary scene has been experienced and viewed and tasted and engaged over and over and over. So I really wanted to celebrate you from that perspective. And we're going to get into all those different tentacles, right? We'll get into that. But I wanted to ask you, before we get into that, for the people out there who, meeting you, what was your journey like to become the Chef Brigette that we know today? What was that journey like for you?
Well, it's been a long time. It wasn't overnight, really. I guess the journey started in 2005. Yeah, 2005 is when I started culinary school. Before that, I had the love for and when I did CXC, I just went straight to hotel school because I didn't see the need to do A levels. So I did that, and
okay,
I just worked, and then I don't know, here I am.
Right, here you are. Okay, I love it. And I believe that, a key part of that journey was, although we have plenty comments on the screen. What's this one? Liam Rizzetti again. Oh my gosh, I have to add him to the show at some point. Brigette always elevating and leveling up foodie scene. You're right. You're right. And Melanie Jones says she is seasoned. Yes, she is seasoned. She is well seasoned. I love Bridge. Let's talk about TTHTI, right? Hotel school. Hotel school was an integral part of your journey in terms of how you began, how you got your training. But then you also went on to be one of the instructors at hotel school. And for those of you who don't know, Bridge, correct me if I'm wrong, but hotel school is no more right now. Is that true?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
They closed maybe a couple months ago. Well, I don't want to say those are the details because it's kind of shaky.
Right.
But yeah, so the school is closed.
Yeah, it's still
as everyone knows. It's like there hasn't been like a definite plan of what we're gonna do for the future of the educating people like in such a big quantity. I don't know what's gonna happen with that for our industry to like build new cooks, like create new cooks, create new hospitality trained people, because everybody you see in the industry has some level of training, either on the job from like you work yourself from bottom up, or the faster ways they go get a traditional schooling and then they go into the industry, equipped with some knowledge so you can be a little advanced in terms of management and all these things.
Right.
So it's difficult. I hope there's some sort of plan for the future, because then when I'm looking for staff for whoever clients that I do all the time, however many years down the road, we mightn't have skilled people available to work because, well, school closed.
Because they're not being given the skills, they're not being trained.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that's definitely a gap, a huge gap now, which as we know, right, is unique as everything else in this country. One thing today and next thing tomorrow, we may not know, but I thought it important to bring up the TTHEI topic especially considering, what happened in recent events. And really, Hotel School has been a bedrock foundation educational institution in the island and the region. And I know so many culinary professionals that came out of Hotel School, as as I know you do, and so sad times. I'm gonna pull up. I want to pull up this. Let's listen to this video. We have something here to check out before we go to the next question. Something to check out that was very, very interesting to lead us into the next. Not that one producer. Tonight, my. All right, that's good. Aha, let's see what's going on here, Bridge. What's going on here?
This is G Spot. You went on steal videos.
That's right. Bridge, we're gonna kick you out. Come back in. Right?
All
I
right.
got a lag. I ain't like the lag. Okay. Yes, good. Nice. She coming back in. Aha! Are y'all seeing that? Look at that. Look at that. Ah! Right. So that was just a little clip from Cheap Night, right? What was Cheap Night was an event by Bridge. Chef Bridge is back. Bring her back in. Yeah, nice. You're in it. Sometimes, the techers give us a little thing, and so we just...
Yeah, you already know it's raining, so, the internet's shaky.
Exactly. So we reset and we back in. So, Bridge, tell us what we were just looking at. And while you're telling us, we're going to continue looking at some more on the screen, right? Tell us what we were just looking at. It's G-Spot. I see G-Spot. Actually, you don't tell us what we're looking at. Let me tell all you what we were just looking at. Bridge, you could fill in any gaps that I missed, but I'm
Sure, I'll fill any gaps.
Right? I don't know the date. You'll give us 2017, right?
Oh, when we opened?
When you opened?
2016.
2016. See, 2016. G-Spot was one of the most dynamic. It was also a new thing, right? When it first opened, we didn't really have many food trucks in Trinidad, and was yet food places that were built around food trucks. Let's show on this slide. Food places that were built around food trucks. And so when G-Spot came on the scene, it was so unique. Not only was it a food truck, but it had a very, very dynamic menu, and also the experience. G-Spot was located on Marval Road, right? As you can see, they set up the truck in this space, and I'm not lying to tell you all, I don't know how much justice the pictures will do. We pulled some pictures, as you can tell, with some old pictures. But from G-Spot, it was such a unique. Hey, who's that there? Who's that there? Hey, what are you doing? This producer, I'm looking for a producer. I am looking for a producer, right? But G-Spot ended up being such a beautiful place on the local food landscape. And it created really beautiful nights. And one of the events that came out of G-Spot was Cheap Nights, because G-Spot had a menu which was very, very health conscious, but still delicious, and still, Chef Bridge, like she jumped. Oh, don't worry, Bridge, you'll jump back in. So G-Spot had, a very, very nutritious, healthy menu. And it was something new. It was located on Marval Road, and a lot of people didn't think that healthy food could be so reasonable and also taste so good. There was sweet potato mash, Edo's dashing. I don't know where Bridge gone, but she'll come back. Once again, as we roll with it, we flow with it, right? The tech girls are having their own fun tonight. But Cheap Nights was one of the events hosted by Chef Brigette. Bridge, tell us how Cheap Night kind of came in.
Oh, it flew embarrassing me tonight. Well, Cheap Night came to be, as you said, the regular menu was more like a healthy, more, responsible eating sort of situation. And then, a lot of a lot of our customers were a lot of like gym people, fitness people, or people just interested in health, and people who are also like gluten intolerant and all these things. And then people were like, oh my God, this guy was talking about what he wants to eat for his cheat meal. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And so cheat night was there to bring a same gourmet experience and the same quality of food and the standard of food, but new things every time it happened. So things that were not on the menu.
Right.
So
Go ahead.
So that's what cheat night was, and it was crazy.
Run that slideshow again. I love the slideshow. It was crazy, I remember being one of those people who's like, hey, all you know cheat night is tonight? Do you all know cheat night?
So it also became a calendar thing on people's, like, people know like every other Friday was cheat night. So people used to come to cheat nights, get their food and go out or whatever.
Yes.
So people used to stay there and drink and
And you used to have to plan because no matter what, once it's cheat night, it's lineup night too, right? You know that we're coming along Marathon Road 6 p.m. onward, they're going to have a lineup of the door. But we didn't mind the line because in addition to the line, it had a line, right?
Yes, it was a little vibe. It was a vibe.
It was also lime, it was such a beautiful place to just come enjoy food. You had a drink set up in the back.
Yeah, it had a vibe. It had a vibe.
It was really beautiful, really, and I really want to commend you. Sometimes we don't know the internal workings of what it takes to launch a business, especially a food place business. Keep it running, keep it relevant, keep it active, keep it fresh, keep it engaging, and also keep the food good. Most importantly, some people know how to do all the other aspects.
No comment.
Hats off to you. Congratulations for what you
Thank you.
With cheat night. And one of the things, we had a rare long interview plan, but you're here running close to an hour. So one of the things I wanted to ask you was, AvocadoPapii and I spoke a bit about the impact of COVID-19 on the food industry. I want to talk coming up, looking forward. Recently in the budget, the government announced that there would be new taxes on foreign foods. And so I'm curious as to how do you think that will affect our local food landscape? Coming up, I believe it's from January onward.
Yeah, from January. Well, it's not really looking too good for us. I mean, as restaurateurs, because the price already is quite high,
right?
Because of the foreign exchange situation and all that. Which customers can see the increase in prices that restaurants have had to put on bit by bit for the past couple years.
Right.
Maybe the past 3 years actually. The prices have increased significantly because your bills are not reducing, like for example the rent and all these things, and we buying all these foreign goods, and then you have to pay staff a proper wage. It's gonna be hard, like to eat out and all these things. It might get very expensive, and we might see, because from COVID shutting down dining to now the increased prices, like it might be only a certain set of people can afford, or you might be able to dine out as often as you did before.
Yeah, because even now, Uncle Kitos is supposed to make an announcement tomorrow with regards to whether any of the lockdown restrictions will be lifted. But
because some restaurants just don't work well in the takeaway mode. Like it doesn't make up the sales that you have from somebody sitting down there for hours drinking.
Right.
And sitting and talking with their friends and having a good time. You spend the whole day in a restaurant, a whole evening.
Yeah.
And that can't make up for one little order, you spend a little $100
on a takeout. Yeah, I understand what you mean. So last thing I want to ask you is, what's on your menu now, Chef Brigette? What do you have going on now? Tell us.
Well, that I can say, that I can speak about. I'm currently doing a small little takeaway menu for Full Bloom Cafe, which recently moved to Audrey Jeffer's house by the Oval.
Right. Beautiful
So
location.
yeah, it is really lovely. So I hope like in the future with dining being able to happen, we could probably do some nicer things than the small grab and go situation that we're going to roll out soon. And then I'm also helping the guys over at UnQ to onboard new food businesses. So if you have a food business and you would like to be in an app,
Yeah. Tell us what is UnQ for those of you for the audience that may not know.
it's an app that basically, you're not in a queue anymore. So basically you're pre-ordering on the app.
So
And
UnQ coming from the British word in
Q.
kind of if I don't know when they reach England. Well, I'm resenting 190 and the DMs. When they reach England, you don't line up anymore, You join the queue. Are you in the queue?
Yes.
Queue up. Queue up, please. UnQ. Come out of the line.
UnQ, yeah. So we're coming out of the line. So you could place your pre-orders. So right now, we're getting a good bit of businesses on it. They also will be starting delivery soon at a very desirable rate that is unlike the other apps on the island.
All right, because there is some competition in the food delivery department.
Yes, but sometimes it's very expensive.
A pretty penny.
Correct. The delivery is, child?
Yes.
A little too much.
Yeah. Love. Okay, so Full Bloom, UnQ, and I'm sure you have some other things up in the works, but we'll have to check back in again. We'll have to check back in and hear what
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us for your services.
Of course, it was happy being here. I hope I can return.
Yes, one of our local, as I said before, and I will say it again, local celebrity, Chef Brigette. Thank you so much for joining us. This was our
having me.
Yes, our segment called Foodie Feature, right? With Chef Brigette Joseph, right? And let's add AvocadoPapii into the mix, right? Because before I let you go, it's games go, bye. Right? So I like yes, I like to play a game with my guests before we go. Even though we have the hour mark, we're just throwing a little quick game, right? So this game is called For the Love of Food. Let's bring back up the billboard. Yeah, this game is games go bye for the love of food. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up on the screen different menu items from all around the world. Some are local, some are from all around the world. And I want each of you all to tell me yay or nay, right? Not whether you have tried it or not, but more so as a food industry professional, if this is something that you would delve into or not, right? Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. All right, first one up. Curry stew agouti.
Yes.
Oh, I got two yeses.
I've had it. Not bad.
Right. Okay, nice.
I'm not about it, but I would.
Have you cooked it?
Of course. No. Curries. If I cook it, no.
No. Okay. All right, next one, doubles. Now, my question about doubles is, how do you all like your doubles?
Ooh. I like my doubles. Go ahead.
AvocadoPapii, let me hear you. How you like your doubles?
So I like my doubles with a little crunch. So I love cucumbers on my doubles. And I like my barrel with a little crisp as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my preferred doubles.
You like a little crunch and a little crisp.
And saucy chan with medium pepper. I love peppers.
Medium pepper. Oh, good. Use one of them real Pacific doubles because then one will start by the doubles and let's say, all right, so what? And then bring it out. Chef Brett, how you like it?
I like my doubles. Yes, saucy chana. I don't like no dry chana. I like a little chutney in it, and I do like cucumber when they have it because not everybody have the cucumber for the same reason, the crunch.
Yeah. Right.
And a little shadow benny sauce. If they have shadow benny sauce, better.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. Well, nobody asked me, but I'll tell you. For me, I like a fluffy barra.
Mm-hmm.
When I put on there, when I barra rest down on the you know, the little piece of paper, it must go bra bra. Like barra, barra, barra. I must know rice to barra. And yes, I love a saucy chana. I must have my Chanel Menai. I must have that. I would like no part of the pepper. I don't even want your spoon dip in your pepper and then dip back in it. Hold your pepper spoon. Because I love my sweet sauce. I want sweet, and when I say sweet sauce, I ain't talking about that chutney that have a kind of flavor. I want sweet sauce. Right? If you have any recommendations, you'll hit me. Come on, next. My producer here giggling, geep. Fried scorpion.
I won't do it. I'm not doing it.
Producer, close your
I could be convinced.
You could be convinced. You could.
Yeah. If it has like a nice sauce or something, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, if it looks like that, probably not, dude.
Right. Bridge is a no for you.
No, it's a no for me.
It's a no for you. I hear you. Next up. Corned beef. Local classic.
Yes.
Of course.
Corned beef and rice. Mm-hmm.
Corned beef and macaroni. Slaps.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite.
Who tell you to move on? I'm not finished with this corned beef yet. Okay, y'all. I have a confession.
Not funny. Do you like corned beef?
I cannot do for nope. I can't smell it. I can't listen. And they can call me whatever. I'm not eating it. Bridge, what is corned beef? Could you tell me what actually is?
No,
in
I
that
cannot, and I don't want to know. Do you want to know? I don't want to know.
Whatever it is, it stops.
I don't need to know.
It's like ends of beef. It ends of beef, you know. And it's corn, so that's like corning is like a pickling sort of situation. So just like a proper corned beef brisket is something that, you know, is like marinated and like pickled for like seasoned, and you leave it for a long time to, you know, get the flavor. Kind of like, you know.
Hong Kong.
I don't know, Max. I don't know. I don't know. Next, producer. All right, pineapple on
pizza. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
It's a must.
That juiciness.
Yes. Love. What do you have next? Chicken foot.
Yes, I do like it.
Yeah.
I like chicken foot sauce. I like chicken foot and dim sum. Mm-hmm.
Even stew chicken foot.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All good, man. Eat that chicken foot.
Yeah. That's a nice food.
Enjoy. Next.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes, I eat any escargot.
Listen, any day. Bring it to me any day. Oh, well seasoned.
But you don't want to eat chicken foot?
No, I don't. I don't.
But you didn't snail?
Yeah. Hey. Right. That's it. Okay, good. That's it for our games go bye for the love of food. Yes! And this also brings us to the end of our episode. Chef Brigette and AvocadoPapii, thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
It was such a pleasure. I loved our conversations tonight. I think we all took away so much from it. Thank you all for joining us. And don't worry, we're definitely going to be back with more follow-up interviews. Yeah?
All right. Yeah. Later.
Love it, love it. Everybody out there, thank you all so much for joining us. Anybody in the comments before I wrap up tonight? Anybody in the comments? Okay, nice. So tonight, we have come to the end of episode 7 of Everything A to Zoe. the new Foodie Frontier with Chef Richard Joseph and AvocadoPapii. We had a great night tonight. We also had a guest check-in spotlight feature on our new segment, What's on the Almanac, right? Coming up in the calendars from Frank. Frank is doing Go-Tober. And that was, just Go-Tober is coming up this week, actually, begins tomorrow. And there are lots of visual events happening surrounding everything goat. So make sure to check that out. Thank you once again to my guest, Chef Brigette, AvocadoPapii. I had such a great time with you all tonight. Thank you to everybody joining us. My name is xoesazzle, and we've come to yet again the end of another episode of Everything A to Zoe by yours truly. And also tonight, we will also live on Twitch, right? So going forward, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you have any friends that love the Twitch, tell them to join us over there. Just so you all know, this was actually going to be our final episode of this season, but the folks begged me and they said, girl, we must do one more. So next week is our final episode for season 1, right? Our very first season of Everything A to Zoe. Samantha Bitty said loves it. Memories and lots of love. Love you all. Thank you all so much for joining in. Everything A to Zoe is a show hosted by yours truly, xoesazzle, every Friday night at 9 p.m. All right, so let's take it to the billboards. Let's close you out. Special thanks goes out to Ali V. Ali V is our SSMM. Also, Nigel Williams. Nigel Williams is our producer, who is still employed as of now. Right? Thank you all so much. Also, just so you know, Everything A to Zoe is a production of Excess Studios, my studio company. All creatives involved have felt the effects of COVID-19, and so we welcome contributions, right? Everything A to Zoe with yours truly, xoesazzle. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next week. Any last comments? I have one last comment there. Samantha Bitty says congrats. Love you. Have a great Friday night. See you all next week. Bye.